My pleasure to call to order the regular meeting of the Village of Cache Creek this March the 3rd, 2025. We have the minutes of the February 18th regular meeting. Could I have a motion to adopt as circulated?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Any business arising from the minutes? Seeing none. Committee reports. Economic Development, Councillor Deaver.
First thing, final report for active transportation downtown revitalization plan. Council to review the active transportation downtown revitalization plan. The plan will also be available for the public to review on the village website and at the March 19th open house at the community hall.
Thank you. That's just for information.
Item 2.
Oh,
Councillor
we do
Peters.
have Mr. Cook and our EC Catch-A-10. He's the author of the report, so if anybody has any questions for him, he's in attendance to answer them.
Well, as long as we don't have to do it all, then we're okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty extensive. I do have one question.
Yeah, Councillor Peters.
When you made the plans for the crossings at Park Road and at Old Caribou Road exit, did you do any consultation with MOTT? No.
No.
I will tell you from experience that they would just assume there was 0 lights on our highway. When we rebuilt the Husky, they wanted us to only have one driveway because they didn't want two driveways. So they're not fun to deal with.
I do absolutely understand that. MOTT is starting to change their philosophy very little bit. I mean, it will take some time, but they are recognizing now that ministry-controlled highways that run through urban centers, such as Cache Creek, still have people and cyclists and other users using it other than roadway vehicles through traffic. So there is an appreciation that is developing with the ministry that, hey, we actually have to consider these other users as well. And so I put that in the report with the overall look at safety, at the active transportation plan as a whole for the village, recognizing, and it is acknowledged in the report, recognizing that there obviously has to be a partnership with the ministry to bring that along. And it is something in both of those cases, in both of those recommendations, that I would suggest as a transportation professional that they would be prudent to do. And so that's why
I've never thought of one at that end, but often thought of one at that end. So it's a really extensive report with a lot of kind of really cool ideas that I'd like to see us work towards, but as funding becomes available.
Yeah, there's some in there that I wouldn't mind us working towards, but some in there I would be deathly opposed to. Thank you.
Item 2, Cache Creek Graffiti Days requests. Council to review the letter provided by the Graffiti Days Committee. You guys read it already?
Move that council approve all the items requested in the letter from the Graffiti Days Committee.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. On to Budget Administrative Services. We did have a meeting last week, I think it was, and went through the budget, which appeared to be rather large, in my opinion, especially the last few items on it. And we did ask for a breakdown or a summary of our reserve funds, and we'll get that. I think the auditor has almost completed their work, and so we'll get that after the audit is complete, and we'll get back to you with additional information. Bylaw and policy review, Councillor Peters.
Nothing at this time?
Thank you. Public Works, Councillor Devert.
Nothing at this time.
Healthcare and Protective Services, Councillor Devert.
Nothing to report at this time.
Thank you. Emergency Management, Councillor Peters.
Nothing to report at this time.
Parks and Recreation, Councillor Devert. It's just back and forth here.
Nothing to report at this time.
Thank you. There's Adopt a Planter. We're supposed to discuss a theme for Adopt a Planter. I don't know, what was the theme last year?
Explosion of
Explosion of color.
Into the desert.
And there's been 2 ideas brought forward. One of the staff thought of as a result of reading the active transportation plan, the idea of having stuff that's taller for this year as our theme. So the words were thought of as reach for the sky. And then another one that came forward through discussions in the office with a member of council was, in light of the political climate of the world right now, having like Canada colors, like red and white, as a theme to symbolize Canada.
Pride in Canada.
Yeah. So two good ideas that were brought forward that I felt was important to bring to council, and the group's hoping that council will make a decision on what they would like to see, and then people can start buying plants.
Councillor Peters.
We did talk at one point about working with a nursery or a supplier in
Yes.
Lillooet.
Yes.
Yeah.
We had that conversation, and it was liked by some, but the majority, the feedback that we were receiving is the majority would prefer to get stuff from the local vendors and have more color. That seemed to be the biggest thing, is a desire for a high amount of different colors and different things, and not be limited by the local fauna. So.
Could we combine those two and work towards having a colorful with tall?
Tall and colorful.
Tall and colorful?
Can I have a suggestion? Because of the wind, prevalent wind in this area, everything that is tall is kind of going to be flattened, so.
Well, we've had sunflowers in the past that did well.
Yeah, that's true, but their stock is much thicker than regular
And
flowers.
The other thing to think about when we're making these arrangements is quite a few people are planting perennials, and so they're not gonna wanna change. Like, I know for our planter, the Lions have some grasses and some perennials in there that we would work around the theme, but there would be some plants that we wanna leave in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if I were asked to choose between the two options you mentioned, I would choose the red and white option, because I'm a fiercely proud Canadian. And if there's a way to incorporate tall into that, I don't know, but.
Tall, red, and white.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And no orange.
Stand tall.
hollyhocks.
What's that?
Stand tall and proud.
Oh, okay.
And taller.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Good one, Jeff.
Yeah.
We'll do some workshopping on it, but I have an idea of what you're looking for.
Yeah.
I don't know how many plants fit into that category, but we'll
Well,
put it out there. I'm
If
not
it-
the person that needs to find it.
Yeah.
from my point of view, the red and white is more important than the tall.
And having done planters for a couple of years now, I think both can be incorporated, because you can do your red and white around the base and then have taller plants as kind of a in the middle as a
Sure.
focus. I don't see it being a problem. And not everybody follows the theme anyway, so.
Yeah, you're still allowed to do whatever you want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So,
Red and white reaching for the sky.
Red and white reaching for the sky.
Thank you. Landfill advisory, nothing to report at this time. TNRD and intergovernmental liaison, there's a meeting coming up this Thursday. Silga convention, who wants to go to the Silga convention?
I think it would.
Eh?
I would.
Yeah, me too.
I'm gonna pass.
You're passing. I asked Carmen earlier, but I didn't hear her answer. So,
Selective hearing?
yeah, that's right, that's right.
Counselor Deaver? Or Counselor, I'm sorry, Dubois? I looked at your name as I
Yeah, I'm not gonna register for Silga, thank you.
Then
So,
we're gonna
2 yeses for sure, and then we'll see when.
talk to Carmen, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have my say.
I imagine she'll wanna go.
Probably.
it's in Mary, it's not far.
She might want her own room though. Just kidding. Okay, on to Cache Creek Community Fund, Councillor Dubois.
Nothing to report at this time.
Thank you. Staff reports, OCP and zoning review. We're being asked to approve the work plan and budget of $126,930 for the zoning update and OCP update as outlined in True Consulting's proposal. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved?
Second.
Any discussion? This is mostly all grant money, 100%.
100%. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I read that here somewhere.
Yes, just for
Fiscal impact.
if anybody's just joining us right now and seeing $126,000 on the table to be spent, it's because the province gave us to the tune of $154,000 in order to work on 3 items, one being a housing needs assessment, one being incorporating the results of the housing needs assessment into the OCP, and then subsequently into the zoning bylaw as well. So this will meet our requirements, and there'll still be a little bit of funding left over to look at some of the other things that are allowable within the grant budget. Both the OCP and the zoning bylaw are quite, well, the OCP isn't out of date, it's just needs a refresh. I think the ideas in it are generally right, but it just needs to incorporate some of the newer items that we've learned about flooding and our watershed and that sort of thing. So it's that one won't be as big of a thing, but the zoning bylaw requires a lot of work because the current, I think it's 1980 something. I feel like it's 86 or 89, somewhere in there. It's older than me, I know that. Yeah.
Thank you. On the on the recommendation that's been moved and seconded, any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Information correspondence. You've got one item, the Northern Woods and Water Highway. I would move that we receive and file the item.
Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Is there any new business? Seeing none. Questions from the public? Seeing none. Questions from the press?
Nothing today.
Thank you. We have need of a closed session pursuant to section 90.1 and 90.2 of the community charter. Could I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Brief break.